I believe that everybody should be entitled to the privacy of their own information. That's my personal thought and belief. In reality, I think we're learning that privacy is one of those antiquated ideas that has been lost in our move to the digital world. There's no such thing as privacy on the internet anymore. Anybody who has Facebook accounts or LinkedIn accounts or any social media, what you put out there, it's out there forever. And I don't think our students really quite grasp that.
In June of 2015, Mike Ellington, head of the Housatonic Valley Regional High School Information Technology Department, sent an email to all students informing them of changes to the wireless policy in the upcoming school year. A Bring Your Own Device, or BYOD, network was created. Students who were accustomed to signing into an anonymous guest network would now be required to join a registered network that recognized their email credentials. There's
a lot of misconceptions surrounding this. First of all, let me address the pre-registered. That was one idea that we had at the end of last year, is that we would register a device so that we could better control what operating systems are allowed on the network and better control how updated that is.
The network agreement that was signed by students specifically stated that their activity on the school internet and their school-owned email accounts could be viewed by the administration. 1 week before the 2015-16 school year, Housatonic rolled out its Chromebook initiative. The plan was to lease Chromebooks to all students for $25, with the option for seniors to purchase their Chromebooks at the end of the school year for an additional $75.
We really had many department chairs and our current principal who presented to the board and spoke to the board about the many applications in which technology was going to be used in the classroom and how having a Chromebook in the hand of every student in the school would actually enhance education and make it a more enriching educational experience. I believe that issuing Chromebooks to all the students dramatically changed the way the internet was accessed by our students.
The educational benefits of issuing all students Chromebooks were clear enough, but it wasn't long after that concerns about internet privacy began to escalate.
Is Apple doing privacy better than Google, do you think? Tim Cook has made some comments recently about selling search history to make money.
Tonight, Brian Williams sits down with NSA leaker Edward Snowden for an exclusive discussion on how he fundamentally changed the way we think about privacy in this country.
A battle between two giants, the government and Apple. Apple still refusing to help unlock the iPhone of one of the San Bernardino terrorists.
The fight continues. Personal privacy versus national security.
I want to collect more records from terrorists, but less records from innocent Americans. The Fourth Amendment was what we fought the revolution over.
Fortunately, in our day and age, that is the ongoing debate, and I hear this all the time in the news where people are talking about the dichotomy between safety and privacy. And I think often the government uses this argument to their advantage to make the case that they need to be intrusive or that they need to monitor something that may not necessarily need monitoring because it's in the interest of public safety.
The internet privacy issue took on local importance when the high school's IT department began piloting a controversial web monitoring application.
So, your school bought all these Chromebooks, but do you really know what students are doing on them? GoGuardian has the solution. Easily manage hundreds or thousands of Chromebooks at once and start gathering insights immediately. With detailed analytics, monitor how your Chromebooks are being used across your organization, from entire schools to specific classes to individual students. Restrict undesired YouTube categories, keywords, or channels. And with our at-home filtering, students are protected even when they're not on campus. Don't go another day in the dark.
Well, I don't think that a school should be required to do that. I mean, I'm not sure that that's really schools have a lot to worry about. I mean, they're responsible for the education of the pupils, and there's an awful lot that they have to cover during the day. So it's not really clear to me that schools should be in the position of having to also be kind of the internet nanny. Technologically speaking, it's very easy for a school to determine what's going on its network. So if the students are using a Wi-Fi network or any other network that's run by the school, it's very easy for the school to figure out what's happening. You know, really for us, I mean, it's got to be if there's something almost criminal going on. So, for example, a student is being bullied or being harassed, and that's happening over the network, that might be a time when it's appropriate for the school to kind of dig in and figure out what's going on the network. But other than that, you know, it's not clear to me that that's something the school should be in the business of doing.
Overall, I'd say the school is doing a fairly poor job of informing us as to the nature of surveillance and our internet privacy. The only way I know about GoGuardian is through a teacher who offered it up to show us exactly what he's monitoring. And so I wouldn't have known otherwise. So I think the school needs to make us aware of what exactly is going on and, again, change the policy with regard to where exactly the surveillance is taking place.
When you're at home, I think privacy is definitely a right. Maybe at school you could be a little bit more monitored, because I think that, like, I don't know, you're on school grounds, you should, like, kind of respect the school's policies, but at home you should definitely have the right to your own whatever you want to do.
People are at risk of losing control of information about themselves, both to private companies and to the government. And unfortunately, technology has moved much faster than the legal protections in that space. And so many of us, most of us, are vulnerable in the sense that people are collecting information about us online without our knowledge or consent.
I definitely don't feel safe using my Chromebook after learning about some of the things that IT and teachers can watch us do. And if IT and teachers can do that, couldn't somebody else find that information somehow?
There is no privacy where internet is involved. I think it's important to remember that anything that goes out on the internet should be considered to be public. It doesn't ever go away. If somebody has a need to have access to it for a variety of reasons, it's always there.
As a high school student coming here, your property is subject to being searched by the administration. When you have a car on our parking lot, when you have a backpack in our building, what's in your locker, what's on a computer that you use that we provide, all that is searchable from us or by us. And the reason is, of course, safety and security.
I think we would have more privacy if people were more concerned. So one of the things that I think you're seeing in the wake of Edward Snowden is more people are becoming aware of encryption technology and the ways in which their activities online and their communications, from emails, texts, things like that, if they're unencrypted, can be viewed by the government. And so if people would take a little more care, use encryption tools, I think we might find collectively that we have a lot more privacy.
Privacy is not secrecy. Privacy means control. Privacy means that you should be able to control who knows what about you and under what circumstances, and unfortunately that's not the case today.
I can't think of anything more relevant than internet safety, privacy protection, and issues like that. I mean, what's more 21st century than that?
Your personal information is valuable to the government, big companies, and it should be to you as well. Maintaining control of that information online is the responsibility of every internet user. In the 21st century, protecting your privacy is up to you.